All right, we're going to go ahead and call to order the Planning and Zoning Commission of October 8th, 2024. Everybody stand for the invocation of the pledge. Dear Lord, Heavenly Father, thank you for this day, Lord God. Thank you for everything you do for us. Please bless our citizens, Lord. Please bless our first responders as they're going into a pretty crazy week and weekend, Lord, that they help protect our citizens and themselves, Lord. Please help us through this hurricane. Help us do the good work of the city, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Chair Lumnick.
Here.
Vice Chair Forges.
Here.
Member Keller.
Here.
Member Chacon is absent. Member Galvin.
Here.
And alternate Member Butler.
Here.
All right. We have a quorum, cool. Consent agenda, can somebody please give me a motion for the minutes of the Planning and Zoning meeting of September 10th?
Motion to approve?
Second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion to approve by Member Keller and a second by Vice Chair Forges. All those in favor vote. That passes. All right, no old business, new business. We have the Ocoee Regional Sports Complex Large-Scale Comprehensive Plan Future Land Use Amendment Map. Amendment from low-density residential and conservation to commercial and corresponding text amendment to future land use element. Project CPA 2024006. Zoning Manager Whitfield.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening, everyone. So this is the Ocoee Regional Sports Complex Large-Scale Future Land Use Map Amendment and Text Amendment. As Mr. Chairman mentioned, it's 117.7 acres of low-density residential and about 32.3 acres of conservation, going to 150 acres of commercial, along with a text amendment to the regulations in the future land use element, specifically respect to this project. Just a little bit of background. The property is in the southeast corner of Ocoee-Popka Road and Fuller's Cross Road. There are 9 parcels total. They add up to 150 acres. The majority of the property is vacant, but there are small properties that were added to the property through annexations that have some uses on them. This is an aerial of all the properties. The surrounding future land use map, the surrounding zoning maps. So a little bit of history. The parcel that you see highlighted on this map here, which is the old Chevron property and this larger property, they add up to 132.23 acres. They were the subject of a brownfield area designation back in 2023. And the purpose of that brownfield designation is to help accelerate environmental assessments, to include any remediation for contamination, the opportunities to rehabilitate the property, to serve as economic redevelopment opportunities and job creation. So this project that they're in now follows this direction from the city last year. This slide shows the 2 maps. So the map on the left is the existing future land use categories, and the map on the right is the proposed. So it'll essentially change the color on the future land use map from yellow and green to all red for commercial. In terms of the amendment itself, the 117.7 acres, the future land use category of low density residential has a development entitlement of up to 4 units per acre. So based on the acreage, the max would be 470. The conservation is 32.3 acres. The max at 0.1 FAR would be 140,000 and change. The commercial future land use that the comp plan amendment is seeking on the entirety of the 150 at a max of 3 would be 19.6 million square feet. However, because this application includes a tax amendment, the development program will be limited to 0.4 FAR instead of the 3.0 FAR. And what they're wanting to do via text. So what you see in this column is sort of a summary of the text amendment in the ordinance. 17 baseball fields, including a legacy field on approximately 42 acres of sports field area that also includes some outdoor entertainment areas. a total of 1.3 million square feet of vertical mixed-use and horizontal mixed-use commercial construction to include a hotel for 1,250 keys in 3 hotels. And then another 1.3 million, I didn't put that M there, 1.3 million square feet of infrastructure for surface and podium and structure parking. This project would also include a stormwater facility that will essentially redirect the existing man-made canal into to service their stormwater facility, enhanced to also become a pedestrian-activated river walk. And you'll see renderings of this when the applicant team comes up with their presentation. The key thing that's added to this application with respect to the text amendment is that the project would be capped at 17,960 new net external daily trips. So there could be flexibility in the design, like the specific building square footages and everything, but the total max trip external would be capped at 17,960. So in terms of the proposed text amendment, the future land use element currently has, it's a 2002 document. It currently has the data analysis section and the goals, objectives, and policies section. Right now, our data analysis section is the part of the future land use element that houses the list of activity centers that the city has. There's like 3 or 4 or 5 activity centers. Part of this application is moving the list of activity centers from the data portion to actually policy portion. So we're just moving some of that text language over, adding in some provisions with respect to requiring new activity centers to have a mix of uses to deal with looking at economics, looking at environment, looking at connectivity, looking at making sure infrastructure is in place and things like that. So that language is now being introduced into the goals, objectives portion of the future land use element. And all of that is in policy 3.1. The new text policy that this application is asking for is creating a new sub-policy 3.1.1. So the new policy is creating a brand new activity center. It will be called the Northwest Activity Center at Ocoee, Apopka Road and Fuller's Cross Road. The nomenclature or the naming is very similar to the other existing activity centers, so we're just keeping the same format as far as the naming of the activity center itself. The boundaries of that activity center will essentially consist of those 9 properties that you saw earlier in the location map. The text policy also would uphold some existing covenants and restrictions that are associated with the Chevron property for just that specific property. The policies would also require that the development team, owner-developer, prepare environmental and wetland mitigations plans that are acceptable to the city prior to any approvals of site plans for development. The next sub-policy is something that's different, and that is right now, the way our process is, there's a comp plan amendment, and then there's a rezoning. And a rezoning to a PUD includes a land use plan, and land use plans dictate what happens on that particular property. In the world of state agency reviews, state agencies don't comment on, and they don't really have a say on what happens at the rezoning stage. Their jurisdictional powers are limited to the comp plan amendment stage. But what the applicant team and the developer has agreed to do is actually adopt those parameters of the rezoning, like the land use plan, the conditions of approval associated with any approval of the rezoning, any development agreements, anything that ties specific to this property, adopting those provisions as part of the text amendment that would also go to the state. So it gives that state oversight by way of a policy adoption. So it gives the city some protections in that regard. The policy also, like I mentioned, establishes a max FAR, floor area ratio of 0.4, and that's a typo there. Instead of 4, it should be 3. And again, the 17,960 net new external daily trips. And then the last policy is a commitment from the owner-developer to that would be in a development agreement that runs with the property in terms of making sure that transportation and utilities and other infrastructure improvements are in place to accommodate the project. And the details of that will be worked out when we get to the development agreement stage. So very briefly, this is, and you'll see the more detail when the applicant team presents their renderings. This is a concept plan. So north is to the right side. So this is Ocoee Apopka Road. Full across is here. And just big picture, this project would include an extension of 17th Avenue to connect Lakewood to Ocoee Apopka, so we are creating that east-west connection. There is a football field here, and then an indoor sports and fitness facility here. Parking is in this gray area. The sports fields would be in this location. This smaller field is the legacy field, and the legacy field is one where it's inclusive to provide a ball field for persons with special needs, disabilities, ability levels, and things like that. Along Ocoee Apopka is essentially the boutique hotel with podium parking, as well as sprinkled in and mixed in is a combination of horizontal and vertical mixed-use products. This is, I don't have a map of it here, so I'll explain. There's an existing man-made canal that sort of runs, I just realized this is not in presentation mode. I'm sorry. So the canal runs southwesterly, easterly, and then it sort of goes like that. And this project would essentially redirect it to create this large stormwater facility, which will be designed, like I mentioned, a river walk, which you'll see renderings of in just a moment. And then in this side that's facing Fuller's will be the two larger hotels, and essentially the main grand entrance of the whole project, and it's also their entertainment district. I do want to say, too, really quickly, that the access and circulation is designed with comments received from the police department and the fire department as far as making sure that the site is accessible by emergency services. So in terms of the staff analysis, because the application that's in-house now is just for the comp plan amendment, not the rezoning, so there's no rezoning application part of in tonight's hearing, and no site plan as part of tonight's hearing. So in terms of the comp plan amendment itself, we looked at whether or not it's consistent with the Florida statutes. There's details in the staff report as far as the citation of the Florida statutes that deals with redevelopment of blighted areas, statutory language that speaks to brownfields having the ability to create jobs, creating economic opportunities for the city and things like that. We also looked at the project in terms of its consistency with the joint planning area agreement. These parcels here are currently, they're in the city, however, they still have the county's zoning classification, A1, and in the JPA, it's currently designated future low-density residential on the JPA's future land use map. As far as updating the JPA map like we do for all the other JPA amendments, that'll happen between now and when it comes back to the commission for adoption. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, that we are looking at this request to make sure that it's consistent with the JPA. We also looked at whether or not the application is consistent with the existing policies in the comp plan. In the staff report, you'll see that there are a number of policies from the future land use element, the conservation element, the transportation element, and the parks and recreation element that supports this project. We also looked at access and circulation. There will be a series of both signalized and unsignalized driveways along Fuller's Cross and Ocoee Apopka Road, as well as a new connection between the 17th Avenue extension. The details of those access points are not included here because that's not something that we look at this entitlements stage. But when the rezoning comes in, you'll see in the land use plan all those different access points and whether or not they're limited, meaning right only, left only, full access, which is basically free flow in both directions, whether or not they're signalized and unsignalized. So those are the details that we look at as this project moves along, but we did look at that and from a traffic analysis perspective. So the next bullet, which is the big one, or one of the big ones, is transportation. Because this is a comp plan amendment with a text amendment that limits the project to 17,960 trips. The traffic analysis didn't have to be based on the 19.6 million square feet. It was only based on a max trip, external trips of 17,960. Based on that analysis, there are no segments that are failing based on the city's adopted level of service standards for those corridors. And it looks out based on the significance of trips according to our city's transportation methodology. There are no segments that are failing. There are some intersections that are not operating at capacity with existing trips and background trips. So the traffic analysis includes 3 reviews. So one is based on just existing, what's on the road now based on the county and DOT's traffic counts. It also did an evaluation based on background, so looking up 2027 and all of the projects that have currently been approved, such as the Regency, the Ocoee Village Center, the Ocoee Village. All those projects were built into the background trips. And then the last analysis is based on the existing plus the background plus this project's 17,960 trips. So based on that, the recommendations that came out of that traffic analysis includes the widening of Ocoee-Apopka Road from Silver Star all the way to West Road. It also includes a widening of McGuire from Kissimmee to Story, and a series of intersection improvements, including additional turn lanes, additional receiving lanes at several intersections, and that's detailed in the Exhibit 21, if you want to look at that in more detail. As part of the, and I'll go into this in just a moment in the next couple of slides, but the applicant team is aware of all of those recommendations from the traffic analysis, and they concur with the need to make those improvements based on the time frame that will be set when we go forward with the rezoning and the development agreement. We also looked at utilities for water, sewer, and wastewater. Based on the demand, because this is just a CPA, comp plan amendment. The city's facilities have the capacity to treat the connections and those routes, and all those things happens later on. We also looked at it in terms of stormwater. It is in the Ocklawaha Basin, which means it is part of the Apopka Basin, which means that when the site plan comes in, it does have to design in accordance to the Lake Apopka, as well as a Wekiva River protection, Wekiva recharge protection design requirements. In terms of environmental resources and environmental impacts, their team looked at it from the perspective of wetlands and surface waters, and also like the habitat, the flora, which is plants, and fauna, which is wildlife. In terms of wetlands, there are 32.3 acres of conservation designated lands. Their team conducted what's called a UMOM, a unified, it's in the staff report, I can't remember exactly what it says, but it's the unified methodology that is established by the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. It's the same methodology, procedure of evaluation that everybody uses, so it's a professionally accepted methodology. And that methodology looks at the wetland by type, by size, by function, by its community structure, and its connectivity to other wetlands. Based on that UMOM analysis, of the 32.3 acres, 21.94 acres are considered wetlands. So just a little bit less than 75%. Of the wetlands, the quality of the wetlands that they would have to replace would be 9.84 acres. Our comp plan analysis, or our comp plan policies require that developments either stay out of wetlands, or if wetland impacts can't be avoided, then they have the option of replacing the wetlands at a 2-to-1 ratio. If attempts to replace the wetlands isn't available in the city, they have the option of replacing those wetlands within the same basin. So they looked at that. And it also the policies also gives them the options of improving existing wetlands. So what the applicant has opted to do after they've looked at or they've exhausted their options for securing or purchasing more wetlands, they have opted to do a combination of both. One is they've acquired some wetland, 9.9 acres, and that will be dedicated to the city. And then they've also provided a monitoring and management plan for a total of 287 acres. Of that 287 acres, that includes the 9.9 acres that they are going to dedicate, plus 277 acres that the city currently owns. Is under conservation easement, but there's no management plan on those acreages. So what the applicant team is doing is managing the entirety of the 287. So the 9.9 plus the 277 and change. Public Works looked at the monitoring and maintenance plan and found that the plan itself is fine. However, they've asked that the applicant team also conducts a UMAM evaluation on those acreages so that we have an established baseline so that moving forward, we are keeping track of the wetlands themselves and making sure that they're functioning as they should. The second half of the environmental impacts and analysis was looking at the existing terrain, the habitat, and all that. They looked at it in two ways. One is direct observation, and the second is indirect observation by looking at if there's any evidence of burrows, footprints, sounds, things like that. Based on that evaluation, there were 3 plant species that are on the there are no species on the threatened and endangered list, but there are 3 plant species that are the commercially exploited list. And basically what that means is a designation by the Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, otherwise known as DACS, as well as the U.S. Fish and Wildlife. Basically, those are plant species that would be illegal for them to harvest and sell, but it was not illegal for them to remove them for purposes of construction and development activity. So those were the only 3 species that were of note. And then they looked at whether or not there is the potential for the presence of protected fauna or wildlife. There were no evidence of gopher tortoises, the stork, thank you, the indigo snake, and the bald eagle. So the Audubon Eagle Watch has also indicated that the one eagle nest that used to be there is no longer active. So the recommendation from the environmental analysis is that they do another analysis 30 days prior to actually getting to construction. And then public safety. So the fire marshal and the I want to keep calling him Captain Nylander, but I know he's not a captain anymore. Deputy Chief Nylander, they've provided input from the beginning stages, from the pre-app stage through DRC through now, as well as a technical review staff meeting. And the applicant team has kept the requirements and the asks from the fire chief and the police chief in mind. So DRC looked at this item and considered it at their September 23rd meeting. At that meeting, we discussed, again, the wetlands and environmental protection strategies, discussed perpetual funding mechanisms for the M&M plan, the timing of the JPA amendment, the timing of the transportation commitments, and after that, they discussed the Ocoee Apopka Road and the things that would have to happen in order for that to move forward. And then they made a recommendation of approval without any conditions. So with that, staff is also making a recommendation of approval for the comp plan amendment and the corresponding text amendment. Just as quickly as a next step, comp plan amendments of this size, meaning 50 acres or larger, have to go through 2 hearings with the City Commission. The first hearing is called a first reading transmittal hearing, and we tentatively have that scheduled for November 5th. At that hearing, should the commission vote to approve it, the approval then gets transmitted to the state agencies for their review, and then they have 45 days to review upon their receipt. Then after that, it comes back to us, to the City Commission, to take final action. And the applicant, the developer, and the applicant team are here, and they have a presentation for you as well.
All right, thank you very much. Any questions for staff? All right. we'll bring up the, open up the public, bring up the applicant. Just state your name for the record, please.
Good evening. Jamie Douglas with Montier Development. We want to thank all the members for having us, taking the time this evening, and really working with us for the last couple of years, putting this project together. We're very excited, for the local community and, the region in whole. So we're excited to present, and we have our team here to go through any questions or concerns you may have this evening. So really looking forward to it, and just let us know if you have any questions.
Thank you.
Anne Ray Douglas, President of Montier Development. Thank you guys for your time today, and we look forward to a bright future with the city of Ocoee.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chair. My name is Marcus, for the record, Marcus Bastian with AECOM 150 North Orange Avenue. I'm here also with Zach Naraki, and he's our lead designer on this project. I am the planner. And I also have here Chad Wildup, with Macintosh, and Mike also with Montier. Before I begin, though, I would like to thank you all for being here tonight. I know that we all would like to be someplace else, getting ready for tomorrow. And I would like to thank everybody from the mayor's team and Craig Chadricks and Mike Rummer, Anoch and Ginger, everybody on DRC. I have about 10 years of experience prior to my, current tenure here at AECOM in local government, and I can tell you that the level of collaboration and assistance that we had from everybody, from top to bottom, in your staff, is remarkable. So with that, I'd like to thank everybody, and we'll see if we can get you more information. What you're about to see here is just a few very basic facts about the project. I know you have an entire package in front of you, and I hope you didn't have to read through the whole thing, but if you did, thank you for that. And what we're going to do is we're just going to show you some very key facts, and then I'm going to give it to Zach so he can show you a few pictures. And this is the type of information that it's a little bit too early for us to be releasing at this point in the process, because remember, we're only voting on the actual comp plan amendment. We're not voting on the rezoning or on the PUD yet. But our idea has always been that we want to make sure that the city understands and feels comfortable with everything that we're proposing. So we have always tried to keep it as open and give as much information as we can. With that, I don't need to give you anything about the location here other than the fact that Ocoee has a very special status on Metro Orlando because it's so well served by the regional train station network, and we're just about 15 miles away from Disney and 15 from the Orlando International Airport, and we have plenty of capacity on the network. So that, together with the rich history of Ocoee and the specific location of the site, created an opportunity that we just we couldn't pass. This project, and you're going to see here the name. We're going to mention Dynasty Sports, which is the branding name that the Montier team will be developing this under, but it's interchangeable with the original Sports Center. And the idea here is to be number one destination, world-class destination for youth sports and entertainment. And the way that this is going to be done, as you've seen from the site plan, which you're going to see a few more images, is that there's going to be a series of multi-purpose fields, 17 multi-purpose fields that we have designed for the site. They're going to be, for the most part, accessible to the public. And I say the most part because at some point we might have paid events, so where you have control to certain perimeters to, if there's a tournament. But the idea is that this is going to be as open as we can for the most for the amount of time that we can. There's going to be about 1,100 to 1,200 hotel rooms on site. What that means is that it gives us, it's a destination for long-term stays, right? So you come in here for your family to stay multiple days. And that is important because that's also supported by nearly 500,000 square feet of retail, restaurants, entertainment, and indoor sports. That's in addition to all the outdoor entertainment that you've seen. And what that means for the community is that we're going to have, in a period of a 3 to 5 year time frame, nearly 10,000 jobs in the community. And that's coming from construction, from $600 million worth of improvements in the region, between road improvements and the actual construction of the project. And after that's completed, you have up to or upwards to 5,000 permanent jobs, because and that's directly related to the operations. So you have hospitality jobs, service jobs, all of the maintenance and facilities and training, and obviously restaurants and retail. And that impact, based on a model that we had of $350 million of expenditures in this area, and that's, I have to state that that's actually a conservative number. It can generate upwards of 540 or $500 million of economic impacts in this region per year. So that's why this is such an unusual project. We don't see those, every day. And obviously, we're capitalizing on Ocoee's legacy and history, and that's integrated into design. Our partner in the experience design is MDXS, sorry. And if you haven't seen their work, you certainly have seen, even if you don't know, because they work closely with all the theme parks and all the attractions that you most likely visited. And we're doing this about family life, and using the highest or the latest technology on youth sports and training. And finally, we're doing that with a focus on health and wellness, and with accessibility and inclusivity. The whole purpose of the project is, the central feature of the project is that it's to elevate the experience of youth sports, right? And Jamie could probably give you a 1 hour lecture here. I'm not going to be able to do that, but he can, about the experience and how he sees the future of youth and experience in sports. And we also wanted to do that into a whole family experience, and how, as I said, the whole design has been integrated between the experience design and the sports design and the wellness, and all of the complete stay here. And finally, focus on health and wellness that I already mentioned. But the key thing is that by prioritizing physical and mental health, the idea is that this creates a transformative experience for these young athletes, and gets them to stay and focus on sport on the long term. To explain the actual design, I'm gonna pass it to Zach here, and Zach is gonna give you several pictures, and we're gonna end with a brief video. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcus, and members, thank you for your time tonight. I'm Zach Naraki, I'm an architect with AECOM, and we all felt that through this experience working with city staff and getting to this point and the developer's vision, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So why not share kind of where the project is going, share you a little bit more on ultimately what we're working with in parallel with the amendment on the docket tonight. So a more conceptual plan overlaying with the plan that was in the packet tonight. What I'll do is go very quickly through some of the zones and districts here. Notch did a great job of kind of explaining the major portions of the site, but I'll show you some of the architecture and the placemaking that we'll see. So here's a view looking south, and this is of the northwest corner of the site of Fuller's and Ocoee. You see to the left side of the image there, the North Hotel and the commercial district, wrapping itself around the water body, the river walk as we've been calling it, and the sports fields beyond. Is very important for us to use the water and to use the sports fields as an amenity on the site. Here's the porte cochere and entry to the North Hotel. A little bit of the other side of the hotel with amenities decks right off of the sports fields on the south side. So looking at the site as a whole, and if you take a look at that key plan, What we did intentionally was have the larger masses of buildings and the taller height hotels purposefully on the north side for better exposure from 429 and a little bit more buffer from some of the single-family residential surrounding the site. Here's a look up at those hotels from the sports fields. As part of the user experience, how that overlay was done along with the master plan, and as I mentioned, the space making, there's a lot of community type spaces and plazas and things like that. And here you see a food hall type concept right across the river from where one of those public spaces could be. As mentioned before, the idea of the commercial district, this is the shape and scale of that district and a little bit of a glimpse of what that water body and water quality will look like. Here's some views as we go into the commercial district. This is more in the entertainment zone, a more active, more family-friendly environment, an area with more noise and lights and things like that. And as we make our way through the architecture and the types of stores and the types of commercial activity, create a more calming and more pedestrian scale for folks to walk through. Along as we go further south, we have the second hotel property on site. This is a 200-room hotel as opposed to the bank of the rooms being on the north side. And a look at what that indoor sports facility could look like on the south side. So with that, and again, I did go through all that very quickly. We do have an animation that's a little bit more dynamic, a little bit better to see everything, so I'll click that up next.
And with that, we conclude our presentation. Thank you very much. We'll be available for any questions or.
Thank you very much. All right, is there anybody have any questions for the applicant? All right. I'm good. This is open up to the public. Is there anybody in the public that'd like to speak on this matter? Pastor, you got anything? All right. If that's the case, then we'll close it up, bring it back to the dais. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any other questions for staff? I do. I just want to make sure, Anach, that that with this, we are, that we're making sure that nothing can be started before these road improvements are done, right? I mean, we've had some really big projects around here where we haven't put any teeth in anything. So, I mean, is that going to be part of this that, things need to be taken care of first?
Both. In the text amendment, let me call your attention to it. The first policy that deals with the environmental, it does require that those environmental protections be in place before we approve the site plan. The rezoning included that with the rezoning to a PUD. The land use plan will set the stage for it, and then as we're doing that, we'll also be working on the development agreement, and that will include timing. So right now, there will be further discussion as far as when the timing comes into place with respect to the off-site improvements and their on-site improvements. So
Yeah, I'm just looking at in the transportation section where it's stating that, the TIA needs to be in place, at project build out in order to accommodate. And when are we saying that project build out? What's the start of that, right? When they move a shovel or when they put a building up?
So we had the traffic analysis do all of the analysis as if the project is live 2027. Hopefully, they're looking to start in 2027. Am I understanding that correctly? But the protection plans will be there, the development agreements will be there. The timing, we're still discussing, so.
Okay.
And I just want to add one little,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I apologize.
Yeah, let me finish with her.
Yeah.
I'd have to open
That's fine.
I'd have to open it back up again. That's my next question is, what other provisions are in here about building timelines, right? That doesn't make us have another city center that takes 20 years to build.
The way the policy reads now, there isn't a policy that says that they can't get a CO or get a permit before those improvements are in place. So given the magnitude of the projects, one of the things that we'll be looking at as part of the rezoning is the timing of how much construction can take place based on the capacity that's created tying with that construction project.
Okay. You have something, Mr.
Chairman, yeah.
Assistant City Manager?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mike Rimmer. You got to remember, there's 3 steps. We still have a rezoning PD and a large-scale site plan, all which come back to this board. My only concern was you said nothing can start until the roads are done. Well, that's,
Yeah.
so you will see it again in the rezoning. You will have more firm timelines, and in that development agreement, it will provide the steps of what can come online,
Right.
what can be CO'd, yes.
Yeah, and that comment was more to like, does it a shovel in the ground or is it the building's completely done and we're putting people inside of it before the road is done, right?
Yes.
There needs to be something with teeth.
And yes, we've lightly touched on that on the land use side, but the next step, the PUD rezoning will provide more teeth, and you will bring that back in front of you.
Perfect. I love it. All right, I'm going to open it back up again. Did you have a comment you wanted to make, sir?
Well, actually, my comment was exactly what Mike just said, that part of what we didn't quite mention here is that there is, as part of the development, you probably all saw about 2 years ago, there was a development agreement that was made between Montier and the city. What we're going to have now is a project-specific development agreement that we're going to be working between now and, December, January, that is going to set a lot of those commitments and timing. My concern is, sir, is when you mentioned that nothing can start until the roads are done. Roads are notorious for taking a long time. And so a lot of concurrent development might happen here. Right, so we will, through the development agreement, tie up and make sure that the city is comfortable with everything that will be granted at the timing that is appropriate.
Thank you. I did open it back up. Is there anybody else in the public who would like to make a comment? All right, we'll close it back up, bring it up to the dais. Does anybody else have any questions for staff?
Actually, I have, maybe I missed it.
Before you do, you should go ahead and make your announcement. You have to announce that you're abstaining.
Well, yes, I'm sorry. I will be committing on this. However, I will not be voting on this project. Is that what you want me to say?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, now with, maybe I missed that. How many access points and where are they to this project with regards to Fuller's Crossroad and Ocoee Popco Road? Maybe I missed that somewhere. It's such a beautiful
So,
presentation.
yes, it's hard to see here. Let me turn to my,
Use my color site now if you show.
oh, in the staff report, there are,
Look like about 8 or 9.
yes.
Driveway 4, 5, 6, 17th Avenue, driveway 5, driveway 6.
So a total of about 13 between Fuller's, Ocoee Popka, and the 17th extension.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I also want to mention in response to your prior comment, one of the policies is that they have to commit to whatever comes out of the development agreement.
Great, perfect. Yeah, just so, I mean, the public knows, right, they're like the assistant city manager said, there's gonna be 2 more major meetings on this at planning and zoning, so we're gonna be able to dive into some of those finite details. This is gonna be a phenomenal project, we just wanna make sure it works. So, anybody else, have any other questions? If not, I'll take it.
One question.
Yeah.
Sorry. So, you kind of briefly specified that maybe projected start date would be 2027. Is that correct or no? Because I did see that you kind of nodded. So, do you have a projected start date?
That's questions to staff, right? You're asking a notch?
I was asking somebody.
Okay, well, we'll have to open the public open it up, back up again. So we'll open it back up. Go ahead.
So our anticipated completion timeframe is 2027. We anticipate to start construction in 2025. As soon as this process is done and we've accommodated all requests and worked out traffic, we're going to concurrently, build the complex and expand the roads, making sure everything is taken care of for opening day. But that process will hopefully start in 2025.
And the reason why I ask also is because earlier you mentioned that it would take about 4 to 5 years to complete the project. Are you doing it in phases, or is it going to be one project?
We're going to be doing it as one project. We're shooting for a 36-month timeline from today. So it's going to be a quick project. We're working with the best contractors in the area, the best engineers, the best design team. And as we mentioned earlier, the members and staff of the city of Ocoee has been absolutely phenomenal. And I believe that between the city members and our design team and our partners in this situation, we can accommodate that 36 months. But we are going to concurrently make sure we get the traffic taken care of at the same time.
Good deal.
Great, thanks. Let's open it up. Anybody else in the public want to speak? All right, we'll bring it back up to the dais. If nobody else, I'll entertain a motion, please.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion. Recommendation of approval of the proposed ordinance for a large-scale comprehensive future land use map amendment to convert approximately 117.7 acres of low-density residential and approximately 32.3 acres of conservation to approximately 150 acres of commercial future land use designation, and for the corresponding text amendment to certain provisions and policies within the future land use element for the Ocoee Regional Sports Complex.
Thank you very much. We have a recommendation for approval. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, we have a recommendation for approval by member Keller and a second by member Galvin. And our alternate member will vote tonight since member Chacon is not in. So if anybody else have any other questions? If not, let's go ahead and vote. Who didn't vote?
Oh, I hit enable,
boy.
so I'm not sure why that.
Redo that one more time.
Yeah, I pressed enable. There we go. Did he yes? Good. Good. There we go.
There you go, Joe.
All right.
Joel. All right, so that carries 4-0 with member Forges abstaining.
Yeah, okay.
So thank you very much. We're excited. Can't wait.
Yeah.
All right. Now, that is all of our business. We have miscellaneous project status report by Assistant City Manager Mike Rimmer.
Thank you. We currently have the Wawa under construction on the east side of town. The Magnolia Townhomes site work permit was just inspected and completed, so they'll start building the townhomes on the north side of town. We have a rework of the Inspiration Plan Unit Development off of Tommen Boulevard. The townhomes, they're going to keep some townhome buildings, but they're going to combine lots and build some single-family homes. We're doing that platting right now. And the final building in the business character area, which is the project is the 429 Commercial Center, is going to be pouring the walls on their last building. And that area is really taking shape. We have a couple of new public roads in that area as part of those developments. I'm available if you have any questions.
All right, before we do, we want to first congratulate Mike Rumor on being our new assistant city manager.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations. And Ginger, stand up. We got Ginger, who's also been promoted now to, what are we calling you? Director of something?
Development Services.
Thank you.
She's acting right now, but yeah.
Acting, she still should get it.
Yeah.
But does anybody else have any other questions for staff? What questions do I have?
Even though we're under a moratorium, we still plan to meet with you all, but next month it will not be site development project related. It'll be comprehensive plan, the capital improvement element update, and a couple of the first elements of the comp plan.
Great. There was a lot of talk last week or so. Of course, everybody's seen the trees being removed.
The Regency.
Yes,
The
you wanna talk
Regency
for a second
development.
about that?
Yeah, the Regency development on McGuire, on the west side of McGuire, at the intersection of McGuire and Old Winter Garden Road and adjacent to the Turnpike. That is a mixed-use development. It'll have multifamily, and it has mixed-use building, which will be, it'll be developing the new extension of Old Winter Garden Road, just a partial extension until the other properties develop. But it'll have a, as I said, the new extension of Old Winter Garden Road, and there's also a new north-south road that'll be beginning to be built with this project. That's around a mixed-use building, which will have retail on the bottom, multifamily on top. And so that's in our target area too, especially design area for retail and higher density type uses. And so that has broken ground, and that going on now. And so we're excited about that.
Does that have a large anchor tenant, like a restaurant, or, I mean, a grocery store or anything of that size?
No, the area is planned where we could get we actually fit a Costco type use on it behind that in the area.
Right.
And so we're hoping to either get a big box user like that, or more just mixed use buildings that have a pedestal. Well, we did adopt an ordinance, a very important ordinance in the city of Ocoee. We adopted an ordinance to our building code. It's called an amendment to the local building code that we are sending to the state. It is now required for multifamily buildings in the city of Ocoee that the first floor habitable space has to be built out of brick, block, steel, non-wood. And so it's really a true urban mixed-use building type. It requires that higher end, better, sturdier construction. So that ordinance passed, and any projects going forward will definitely have to utilize that ordinance. So
Great.
looking forward.
Fantastic.
All right, anybody else? All right. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you.
Stay safe, all.